Hello, everybody, and welcome to In the Dog Bowl. I am your host, Georgette Taylor, and I'm so excited that you're joining me today. I have an amazing guest today. His name is Acori Honzo. He is a sculptor, painter, and doll artist. He creates a beautiful African American, one of a kind dolls that are historical, history makers, and are icons. And so I'm so excited to have you here with me today, Akari. Thank you for joining us on In the Dog Bowl.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me.
So I know you create so many dolls and so many people that you spend time creating. What doll that you created has inspired you the most, and which one has challenged you the most?
I'd say the Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer was like my thing. That's one of my most favorite pieces recently. I had a
Hmm.
Sealy from The Color Purple.
Hmm.
That
Hmm.
was one of my most favorite pieces because that was the only woman I had ever made. We did it from
Okay.
scratch,
Okay.
and we did it from scratch. And like Whoopi Goldberg was like, for me, I grew up on her as a stand-up comedian. So
Yes.
the actress Whoopi Goldberg
Hmm.
was completely different to me. But to be able to capture her in that light and capture that emotion with her,
Hmm.
for me was a big deal because like I said, I'm Whoopi Goldberg the comedian. Like
Hmm.
even now I still have but I never even put her together. Have her sculpted, but
Hmm.
it's like it just seemed like that piece was more, it had more of a, for me it felt like it would have more of an impact or more of a
Hmm.
it would elicit more of emotion, it had more of a feeling to it.
Oh, okay.
Because versus me doing her as a comedian, because for me it's like if I do it as a comedian, um, you know, not everybody heard her stand up, not everybody knew
Right. That's
about
true.
the subject
Hmm.
matter that
Right.
she did.
That she talked
But
about.
this
Yeah.
piece
Hmm.
connects because I
Hmm.
know how many women out there, like when after I made it and I look at it and I was like, wow, wow, wow. Then my brain went to when other people see this, what they're gonna see. Like I said, I don't think about it, but after some pieces I said, man, this is my piece. I know I'm
Hmm.
going to see women touch their heart and do
Right.
this when they
Hmm.
see her. And that's literally, that's what validated for me. It was like when I see people, when I was here, people got see it, and I would see women come and they go,
Hmm.
you know?
Okay.
And that's what I was like, that's what my job is done. Like for me,
Yes.
that's how I operate. That's my money. The reaction that I knew that I would get, that's what
Right.
I look for. Because I know us, but the us is wow, dang, but for her, it was like I said, I just knew, and then there was a lady over here from France, black lady from France. When she saw it, she said, "Oh," and I said, "See, now it's international." So it was like I know, like I
Right.
executed what I wanted to do,
Hmm.
and my
Hmm.
goals aren't the same as everybody else's, but little
Right.
things like that, you
Right.
know.
Okay. Very cool.
Good for her. She's one of my favorites. I just trying to think.
Which
Um,
was the hardest for you to do?
Nipsey Hussle,
Oh wow. Yeah.
Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah.
I could show him right because he has these face tattoos, so I got to do them at
Hmm.
that scale.
Right.
And
Exactly.
and I can show, and he has braids. All right, so like I said, I did this Nipsey Hustle piece,
Hmm.
um, shoes and everything. I sculpted like Pumas.
Oh, okay. You sculpted those. That's cool.
Hmm. I sculpted these, and like I said, he has the braids, get the
Hmm.
tattoos on his hands.
Okay. Yes.
Um,
Hmm.
so
Oh wow.
you see the
So.
beard, the earrings. I got the tattoos on his neck.
That is so
See the
cool.
braids.
Yes. Wow. Akari, you're
And
so
like I said,
talented.
the
Wow.
face tattoos, how small they are. The God will rise on the side of his eyes.
Uh-huh.
This is like this makes me look at people closer. So I'm seeing his tattoos, and
Yes.
he has like prolific right here. He has God will rise. This one is a real small one over his eyebrow. Like it's
Yes.
like just to capture in that scale and
Yeah. That
and
definitely
like
could
try
be
to
challenging.
execute.
And then execute the tattoo. I mean, because that's very precise in general, and
Yeah,
then a bigger scale. Yeah. So
yeah, and I
so
connect to these
gorgeous.
people because they're no
Yeah.
longer most people are no longer here. So
Hmm.
he's another
Hmm.
one.
Hmm.
Like I connect and and like I actually what was crazy was with him was I remembered him
Mm.
because I used to like just download mixtapes so that they would make. And I literally, the album that I downloaded of his was called Bullets Have No Names.
Wow.
And so when he passed away, I was like, well, that's the dude that I remember getting a mixtape called Bullets Have No Names. So for me, like I said, when I make these pieces, like I literally, like there's a connection, I connect to him. So because I did him, right? Shot to death. I did Tupac, shot to death. I did Marvin Gaye.
Wow.
And that one is like when I'm working on him, like I said, I bought a mixtape from him, so I know like that mixtape. But Marvin Gaye is like,
no, so iconic.
I'm singing the songs,
Yeah.
like I'm, while I'm working on them, and I'm paying attention to lines now because specific things he said. So it's more of a connection. So it like I said, it takes a lot to like hold that down and still try to, hone it in and still finish the piece.
And show the beauty of them
And
beyond
show the beauty of,
just all the other stuff that people know about them or what happened to them or the tragedy that occurred.
the
Right?
tragedy.
It's
Yeah,
getting past
like I'm
that.
fighting
Yeah.
through that tragedy and that pain. Because even like I work on the Trayvon Martin, it's like I gotta fight through the pain because I'm connecting. I'm creating those. I used to say to people, well, I sculpt the dead. Most of the people I make aren't, aren't living. So there's a lot more I have to think of that's popping in my head while I'm creating these pieces. So if I'm doing the girl, working on the four little girls, of course I'm thinking about what happened to them, and or Marvin Gaye is like he's no longer here, and like the things he was saying,
Yeah, his
and
music is so powerful.
and with him, it was there was one lady that came in here. There were a lot of people responded to that piece. But once again, there was another white lady that came in. She was looking at it and she was like, "Wow, man! I remember when we go to his concerts and we couldn't dance with our black friends on the other side. They made us stand on the other side. We had to dance separate." And I would go, like it's stuff like that information that comes back that you hear. You go, wow. When I did a Basquiat, there was one guy. He was like. And he would talk to me about when he saw him or when he met him, and he said, "I just saw like a young troubled man. Like there was something behind his eyes." But little stuff like that, I hold on to. So when I work on, I go, okay, oh, well, when I make a new one, this stuff stays in my head. Even when I work on Basquiat, it's like thinking about how he wasn't a drug addict until after like the effects of racism got to him. It's like wow, like he wasn't a drug addict this whole thing. It didn't happen until like a horrible thing happened, but it was racism that like pretty much set him on this bad path.
Wow.
But that stuff, like I said, to swallow that and keep pushing through it.
Keep pushing, right?
That's what I have to do because, like I said, it's a responsibility for me to make sure that you see the beauty of us, and also feel good when you just look at it.
Yeah, that's what your work does for me. And I'm for me for thousands of people who've seen it. It does. It goes past all of that to, and it doesn't negate what they've gone through, but it just reveals more of the beauty of who they were. And so that's really beautiful. So I know we talked about you creating the dolls and we in the space that you're in, and so I just we always ask the people that we interview about income, or creating a financial life or stability doing your art, because a lot of creatives or people who want to be creative are hesitant. Excuse me. A lot of people who want to be creative sometimes are hesitant about following in that field because they feel that they can't, create a life for them financially. So has your work helped you to do that, since now that you're not working at somebody else's gig and it's your gig? Has your work, allowed you to, be financially stable at this point?
Yeah, I say to people, for me, because I've been fortunate enough to make things that aren't here.
Right.
So so for me, I look at that as I just happen to choose something that wasn't already there, and I didn't even see it when I did it, but now I understand it. So, but yeah, that could. But if I were to remove these and go off the other art I do, or other things I do, I'm just such not a. But me, I'm just such not a merchandise or money person.
I
But
understand.
yes, you
Okay.
if I literally like just did the numbers, I could very easily just go and just make money hand over fist
Okay. That's good.
because because me, like I said, I create so much,
Mhm.
but
So you have a
I
wide
also,
variety of things that you create. So you have,
oh
you're
yeah,
not
yeah,
just,
yeah,
you wouldn't be stuck in just one thing that you would be dependent on. You create a wide variety of things that you can actually, that you would be able to sell if you needed to do that.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Like I did paint and graphic art as well,
Hmm.
but I've
Okay.
always been, like I said, when I create things, like I said, I think are cool to me,
Hmm.
or but I know other people are gonna find them cool too
Hmm.
because they're based in, like, I was an 80s kid. So if I do something that's based off the 80s
Hmm.
reference, there's automatically gonna be people that go, oh wow, that's cool too. So
Right.
before this, I was doing, like, some people don't know me for the dial thing. There's some people that know me as the guy that did the fake Nintendo cartridge artwork. And what I
Oh,
mean by that
okay.
is I have one right here. I'll show you one I have right here. Like I have like right here. It's like it's
Oh,
a old
how
Nintendo
cool.
cartridge from the 80s, but I did like Tupac, Keep Your Head Up in
Nice.
there, and I made it like a Nintendo game.
That's
So
so
there's some people
cool.
that know me from doing like this
Okay, I see what you're
before
saying,
I
right?
started
So a
doing the
different
dolls.
genre, right? Hmm.
Hmm. So when I got my own space, and this is one of many things I did. And I also had like the fitted Obama. I have Obama and Michelle with fitted
Hmm.
caps on,
Hmm.
they back caps turned backwards. So when I got this space, and I was saying to my wife, like, I got these dolls in here. There's only 3 shelves. What else? What else can I sell in here? She was like, all that other art, all that other stuff you've been making over the years, huh, my son? And I was like, oh wow, you're right. Which was those Nintendo cartridges.
Right, yes.
I had this purple trilogy. I did set I had, it was Purple Rain, Prince,
Hmm.
Sealy Color Purple,
Hmm.
and then Raekwon from the Wu-Tang Clan, the purple tape. So it's like I always blended genres
Okay.
and captured everybody from everything
Hmm.
because I just connected to all that. So all that artwork when I came here and technology changed since I've made some of this stuff.
Yes,
It's like,
since you
oh,
made some of it. Hmm.
I can print this on canvas. I can print this on here. I can do that. So I came up with and what I call it is, I told you guys I don't have merchandise. What I have is it's affordable art.
Mm.
It's art that a kid, when they walk in here, a kid can walk out of here from and
Oh,
buy a
that's
piece of
nice.
art because
Yeah.
not everybody can, purchase the
Mm.
figures. So,
I love
and my
that.
Nintendo cartridges, they identify with the young because
Hmm.
I'd go, I make like me, I've covered music, movies, TV shows. I was a collector when I was a
Mm.
kid. I collected comic books, I collected trading cards, I collected
Yes.
things. So
Yeah.
even with the figure, is like my mindset comes from like, if I was collecting, what would be cool? What would I
What
want to
I want to
see?
collect, right?
Yeah. So
Exactly.
so that translates from my figures to credit across all my work.
Hmm.
But what I do is I still blend
Hmm.
um things. That's why I'll blend the old Nintendo box
Right.
with something, a new kid
Something
or the
new.
wire or
Hmm.
whatever. Then what
Hmm.
will happen is the people from those two different timelines will be in here and they'll go, wow, the wire, I like it. Another person goes, man, the old Nintendo box,
Kendo,
I
right?
like it. Them buying it is like the plus, and yes, you can
Hmm.
literally generate. But my advice to people is, what type of creator are you
Hmm.
first, right?
Hmm.
It's like,
Yep.
do you have this one set thing that you do? Well, okay, stick with that one set thing, get your 10,000 hours and be the best at it. So whatever it is, you just make a whole bunch of that. So when
Hmm.
you turn around, you have a whole bunch of that.
Right.
If you're like me and you have 50 million ideas going through your head and you constantly just making 50 million things,
Yes.
keep making those 50 million things, because at the end of the day, you look around and if you want to call it merchandise or whatever you want to call it, you'll have a whole bunch of that to offer. So when you talk to people and say, hey, I do X, Y, and Z, you have all these things made.
Hmm.
A lot of people say, I do this, and oh, I make movies. And you go, oh, you make movies? Okay, can I see one? Well, it's still in progress. How long you been doing it? About 4 years. Okay. And then you see them later and they're like, yeah, I'm still working on you. Like, okay. But then there's another person that's like, hey, I make movies. And you're like, can I see it? Yeah, here's my YouTube channel. Because there's no rule to it. It's like, if it's a 5-minute movie, you call it a movie, is what you call it.
Hmm.
But make it, have it done,
Right.
and not just throw it together. Do it at your pace because it's your art. Whatever it is you do, make it, go create it. Even like I said, I don't care if you write haikus. write them down and have them there so they exist. So when you say, hey, I do this, because you never know who you come across, you may say, and when the person says, hey, you know what, I want to do a book on haikus, but I need someone who writes them, you already have 20 of them in a clip, and you're like, hey, look at this. And they're like, wow, you already got it done. So that's what happened with me. It was, I just happened to have all these pieces already done. And I wasn't thinking of it being prepared, but now I know in hindsight, that's what it was. It was like, wow, I was prepared for the moment. And that's what I say is, whatever it is you make, don't keep questioning it. Make it. And I said it on my Instagram. There's many videos I go create something. Go create whatever it is. I don't care what it is. Go create it.
Yeah.
You get in the habit of creating it. So you'll have it to show. And you never know who's looking for what you're creating, because there's always someone that had the same mindset you do and into the same exact things you do. You're not alone. Even if you feel like you were alien, you're not.
There's plenty of more aliens out there.
It's yeah, we're all yeah.
That is cool. That is true, though. I think that is so true. I mean, if you create it, then you're available when the opportunity comes.
Heck yeah.
If you don't
And,
create it, when the opportunity shows up, you don't have anything now, so.
And say you're not looking for that opportunity. Like, I'm not looking for the opportunity, but how good does it feel to, you can just look like you have this, like, it gets you in the mood of having, like, you can make yourself happy creating things and doing what you want to do. And it's there. It's something that nobody has no control over. It's something that you made yourself. That's why I say it doesn't matter what it is. You don't think I'm saying you have to be big grand scale. I don't care what it is. If you make toothpick houses, make the toothpick, be the best toothpick house maker you can be, because there's people that appreciate that art as well. And that's number one. But number two, you may get tired of making toothpick houses and say, you know what, but I made these, now I can go make this thing. And it gives you to get comfortable just making something, and it could lead to other things. So you won't be stuck to what it is you're doing now. It could be, you never know what the plan is for you. It could be something completely different. I started off rapping,
Wow, didn't know that.
Started off rapping and making beats and making music. I do dolls. Where would I have thought back then? Where were where were you back then? Nowhere in my, and now it's like, wow, okay. And what's crazy is now, but this is why I say how things connect is, I made all that music, right? All that music I use in my videos when I show figurines and all that. That's all music I learned how to make from back then. And it's my music, so I don't get copyright stricken or none of that.
Right.
And it all connects. And it all connects now.
It just serves a purpose now for your next journey. So I think that is so cool. I know you did. You started out in hip hop. That's pretty cool. So you do your dolls right now. They're one of a kind. So are you at any point thinking about doing mass production, or you're still limited to one of a kind?
I swore in the beginning I would never do mass production, but I realized, like I said, there's people that want certain things. So for me, it has to be done right. And when I say it has to be done right, it means whoever I'm working with, whoever comes to me, because a lot of people come to me, offer me, like, we'll give you money, we'll give you, this is $1 million. I know it's millions of dollars. Like, that goes without saying. Tell me something I don't know. Tell me if you understand them. It was more important is, do you get the message and the meaning of why this is being done? Because if you do get that, that means we're going to do these things the best way possible. And then the other part for me is, okay, I want to still be able to do what I'm doing, making these impactful pieces of art, and not have that take away from these impactful pieces of art. So I'm there, figure that out. Whereas, like, okay, I'm not so against mass production anymore, but it's strategized out of how it's going to be done in a way that it doesn't take away from what I'm doing here, but I still can make it possible for you to go home with a piece that does not look less than what I'm doing here. Like, that was a tightrope. So I'm in the process of working through that. in getting that done. So yeah, I can clearly say, yeah, so I'm not so against mass production anymore,
Right,
and we
right.
figured it out.
I'm so excited that you figured it out. I mean,
Yeah,
because it really does allow for more people to know about you, more people to, know the kind of work that you do, and also gives more people and children opportunity to see the
yeah, the
amazing
children.
products that you create, and the
Thank,
conversations will just keep going. So I'm so excited about that. I'm so excited
oh,
about
thank.
that for us and for you to keep,
Yeah, yeah. I
creating
was
the
for me.
things that you create.
I'm excited to just accept the normalized part. I had to go with the normalized part. I said, hey, I can say no, I want, but how can I normalize it? Not
Hmm.
just saying no, I won't do it. I keep myself open and listening, because when I see how important this stuff is, I say, okay, this is what I'm going to have to do to make it normalized. And
Hmm.
how can I normalize it and still give it the same quality? Because that was my issue. Was mass
Hmm.
production comes with lessening the quality.
Hmm.
So how can we do this without lessening the quality and make it available to more people to see?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm that's why I'm excited to be at that point and figure that out, and because that I think that is what I'm being called to do, and the reason I've been able to figure it out is because it's a purpose for it's made so for me to figure out, and why it's happening now versus in the beginning when I first started doing this, and why I'm not why I understand why I wasn't so hard set on no, this will never happen, like I was in the very beginning. I had like a very strict thing with this will never happen, never. You only want to see these in this
Hmm.
either here or in a museum.
Hmm.
But then I figured out, you know what? There's pieces from museums
Hmm. That's
and
right.
there's pieces that can be done for you. But my whole big thing was about the quality of it. And
Hmm.
if you don't understand the message or the vision, I don't want to work with you.
Hmm.
That's what I would tell them. You don't understand, I don't work with you. And fortunately, we find the people that understand the message and the vision, which is more important than the money and the fame. I'm trying to make history and literally make history with history. And that's more important than fame or money.
Just incredible. I think you are an incredible artist. An incredible talent. I think what you share with people um, is just, like you said, it makes history on so many levels. Just the opportunity to have people have the conversations about these things that these amazing historical figures and icons that you make is already making history, because people need to be having conversations exactly about what it is that you do, and to keep the integrity and the quality, and still allow you to be creative, enjoying what you do on the other side too, that's important to you. And again, like you said, it's your purpose, and so it found you, you know at the end of the
Yeah,
day, it
thank
found
you.
you. So, and I'm so glad that
Thank
we found you. So thank you so much for being on In the
you.
Dog
No,
Bell.
thank you to
We
the
really
dog
appreciate
community.
it.
I appreciate y'all for giving me like I said, it was to not see like that toxicity and like there's people that literally just appreciate it. I found that space where I could do it and I could keep showing my work. It encouraged me to keep wanting to show more.
Hmm.
Like I said, because it wasn't about trying to blow up. It was like we're in a dog community. Like
Right, people
who's
want
here to try to
dogs.
be a
That's all we
celebrity?
want to do, right?
Yeah, it's like it's genuinely a love for this. No one's trying to be a celebrity. No one's trying to be X, Y, and Z. Like we're all just sharing it, and it's like I'm not considered better than anyone. It's like
Hmm.
I'm just one of
Hmm.
the many people showing their work, and we all it's a all good job. Everybody. It's not
Yeah.
like well, why don't you make it like he did, or
Hmm.
like that. No
It's
one did
not.
none of that, and that was like this is the type of community that's dope. So I'll stay here and keep showing my work, and hopefully, truthfully, the reason I show mine is there's a person that's sitting there looking at this feed that may not have started doing it yet, sees all of us doing this stuff, but they're like, well, what's the range? What can I do?
Hmm. Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I see these divas, I see, you know, all these different types of styles of dolls,
Yes. Hmm.
and then I'll bring the men in. Like that was that back then. But now it's more. I see more men dolls.
Mhm.
Back then, I was. This guy does men. Like we finally have men to
And
see with the women. You know what I mean? And
that's
because people understand it
true
were like,
because it was so limited. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, but see, but on the other side, people were coming like, where the women at? And I'm like, did you see the doll community? There's all the women are there.
All those
I
dolls you
was
can
like, if you
match.
go over there, they'll show you that they're saying to me, thank you for now the men here. Because
Yeah.
now we have men to match these beautiful pieces that
Mhm.
we have been creating. I've seen you guys just knock it out the park, you know, and like I said, it's just inclusive. It's like I see men making them, women make like it's not just this is a
Right.
this is
Just
a woman thing.
only a woman thing, or only a man
Yeah,
thing. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And that's one of the things that I love about doing the show too, is I get the opportunity to meet so many different diverse people within the community and allow other people who are not in the community to see that. Because a lot of times, if you're not collecting a doll or out there buying a doll for your niece or whatever, you don't really know who's in the doll community. And there's so
Right.
many talented and artistic people within that community. I really just wanted to be able to share that with everybody else. So I really appreciate all of you saying yes to being on the show, because it just, it's just something that I've always wanted to do. And I've been in the doll community for a while. And so my thing was just, I just want people to know who you are. Everybody that's on the show, I
Oh
just want
no.
people to know who you are. That's all.
Yeah,
That's what I
thanks.
want to do. So tell everybody where they can find your work at.
Oh, you can find me on you can literally just Google Acori Honzo or go to Instagram and just look at Acori Honzo where where I post the majority of my work. And if not there, you can go on Facebook and type in House of Honzo, HONZO, and that'll
Okay.
take you to a page where I show my work as well.
Okay, great. Well, thank you again, Akari, for being on In the Doll World. It's been a pleasure meeting you, finding out about your journey, and of course, seeing your amazing, amazing dolls. Thank you so
No, thank
much.
thank you for your time and you know because it's valuable and I thank you for sharing it with me.
You're so welcome, love. Thank you again. Okay. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.